For the Cayuse Chamber, I'm Wayne Lawrence. Welcome to Is Owning a Business a Blessing or a Curse? Where we explore the real stories behind business ownership, the wins, the stress, and everything in between. Today, I'm joined by Karen DiSanto, president of WF Hann Sons, a company that's been serving the Cleveland area since 1907. With a strong legacy brand, evolving ownership structure, and her role as both president and minority owner, Karen brings a very unique perspective on what it means to lead a business with over a century in history. Let's learn more about Karen's journey and if it's been a blessing or curse for her. Karen, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
So I'm going to say up front, because in full disclosure, that I've known you for quite some time. We've been involved in chambers for a long time. I know you're currently the chairperson for the Cayuse Chamber. You're involved in the Better Business Bureau, and I sit on the board as well, too. So we've done that. So we are chamber people and networking in a sense. I know a little bit about WF Hann because we've had conversation about our companies, but let's talk to everyone else and help them learn a little bit about what you do and what that company is. So WF Hann Sons, what is the company? What do you do?
Heating, cooling, and plumbing.
Okay, good.
Yes.
And do most people, let me ask this because I've heard it pronounced different ways. WF Hann, WF Hann. What is the real pronunciation?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It's either or. I never correct.
Yeah, okay.
As long as they know who we are.
Okay,
Hann,
good.
Hann, doesn't matter.
And it's been around for a long time.
Long time.
And your role is president. So tell me a little bit how long you've been involved in the business, how long you've been involved as minority owner.
I've been on board with WF Hann for 16 years.
Wow.
When I was first hired, I came on board as a controller. And I knew nothing about HVAC. So I learned a lot. And really it just wasn't the controller. I did payroll, I did contracts, I did, with receivables, payables. I learned every section of the company, business-wise.
Okay.
In the office. That doesn't mean I know how to fix an air conditioner
Right.
or a furnace. I do not. So that's how I started. And then throughout the years, I was moved up by our previous owners. And then 5 years ago, I was appointed president of the company.
Good. Okay. And you still don't know how to fix a furnace, do you? Okay. But you know how to fix a company, hopefully.
Hopefully, yes.
So what has been some of the, and actually evolving from a company in a role that allows you to experience different aspects of it, accounting, operations, control, those type of things is really important as you ascend to president because you've been there, done that. What have been some of the biggest challenges you faced in your role now?
I tell you, the hardest lesson I had to learn is I cannot please everyone. That was very hard for me to accept.
Now, is that customers and employees too?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yes. Definitely employees too.
Okay.
And customers. At the end of the day, it's a business. 54 employees. I have to think about my 54 employees.
Yeah.
I like to be liked. I don't like to hear negative things about me. But yeah, it's happened. And even with my employees that don't agree or they're not happy, I always felt like I failed. What did I not do right? What did I not see? So once I got past of realizing I can't please everyone, I think the biggest thing I brought to WF Hann is, I will say, being a woman. My part of the brain works differently than a man's brain. We are family. We are family. I treat every employee like family.
Okay.
We treat our customers like family.
Okay. And doing that, treating like family, and we talk about that part of the brain, is that why you feel or felt a personal connection with every employee? Like, that family. Like
I did.
Mom, sister, aunt,
yes,
type of thing.
And for, I got the nickname, the doctor is in. The best advice I got though, because I moved up through the company, but I was there longer than I am now as president. 5 years.
Okay.
So I had 11 years of moving up and making connections with the employees. And I got the best advice from one of our previous owners. And he said, now that you're president, you have to be able to draw that line.
Yeah, absolutely.
That personal aspect, you have to leave outside. And that was the best advice, because that was really hard for me. And he probably knew it was going to be hard too.
And are you there now where you can kind of separate it as a president to say, okay, it's still my family, but sometimes, I got to give someone a timeout type of thing, right?
Absolutely. I've had to do some really hard things. And, when I did do it, and I know they didn't understand at the time, but I think now they understand, we're not always a good fit for someone, and they cannot be a good fit for us.
Right. Okay.
So I've moved a lot of positions around within the company. When you're there for 15, 20 years, you get very complacent.
Sure. You get those blinders on too, which is,
it's human nature. It's normal. And so it's been good. It has really been good.
And 54 employees, you said?
54.
How many trucks do you have on the road, out of curiosity?
We have on the road.
I see them all the time, of course.
Well, we have on the road probably around 40. We have about 46 vehicles. We have a couple box trucks, pickup trucks, so forth.
Okay.
So
there's this legacy of over 100 years of being in business that creates really multiple generations of customers. So grandma, grandpa, may have you called WF Hann, then the kids, then the grandkids. So what do you do now differently to make sure you're continuing to meet the changing needs of customers? So, the Gen Xers are different than the Zers and everybody else. How are you conforming to that to make sure you keep them as customers?
Well, we've changed quite a bit. They can go online now and schedule. These younger ones don't want to pick up the phone.
It seems so weird now when you just go, they can go online and schedule.
They can go online and schedule.
There was a time when you couldn't go online and schedule.
No, we text message, we're on our way.
Right.
We've had to make changes, and all for the good. And I will tell you, somewhere where we didn't make change is our service. We have employees that have been with us for over 40 years.
Wow. Okay.
And whether you want to call them old school, but we're coming back to the customer service. We're coming back to the training, in front of a customer, simple eye contact. We have a lot of young technicians in the field. And think about it. When they go to a customer's door, hi, I'm your tech from WF Hann, and they look at him, what do you know?
What do you know?
What do you know? So we have really revved up our training extensively. I will never refuse training. We have techs that can go from commercial service to residential service to doing plumbing, which is awesome.
Well, and that also keeps them just energized in the learning process itself. How do you retain them? You are in a very competitive field. HVAC, there's not just the fact that there are the larger companies like you're involved with, or your company, but there's just a person who's the contractor who's been doing it, whether he's certified or not, or licensed or not, who goes and does electrical work and those type of things. How do you keep your people, and how do you make sure that they are up to date on technology and what they need to do?
Very competitive. It is. First is education. I never refuse. If somebody wants to sit on a residential service meeting, they are more than welcome to.
Okay.
We keep up all the certifications. We pay for those.
Okay.
I mean, it's a benefit for our technicians and the company also. What we also do is their hourly wage, I say it's a base. It's a base. They have numerous ways that they can earn more money.
Okay.
Incentives. I love to give out gift cards.
Okay.
When we get a kudo from a customer, I let the tech know, hey, job well done.
Yeah.
You know what? We celebrate our wins, and that's personally too with each and every tech. It's just not as a company, but
And for those people who are listening and watching, my understanding from just knowing you over time, you're always hiring and looking for good people as you continue to grow. So hopefully people will respond to that, because you talk about a company that's offering these things, you don't find it in every single company. And then you couple that with just a family atmosphere where everyone feels like they belong. Now, of course, there's uncles who don't get along with aunts and things happen within the company. But, I think that's a great environment to nurture a young group, which is good. So what keeps you up at night? I mean, what just stinks about the business at times? You can say it.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah, it's everything we talk about. It's employees, it's the customers.
Well, first of all, did I forget to do this? Oh my God, I did forget to do this. But you know what? I expect everybody to come to work with a smile on their face.
Okay.
That's what I work really hard on. And when they don't, I don't need personal side, but I know that people, my employees, their families are dealing with a lot outside of work.
Right.
So if I can make their time at the company, which they spend anywhere from 8 to 10 hours at, if I can make their life better, where they can forget about that, because I do expect a full day work. I do expect for them to be centered and focused. Then I'm doing my job.
Okay.
I will bring somebody in if I think, something might be up. Hey, just
have that conversation.
You don't need, but can I help in any way?
Yeah.
We've had employees that have struggled and gone through, whether it's health with family or finances or what have you.
Yeah.
Every manager, their door is open. We have open door policy.
Okay. And you have to balance that with just don't bring your baggage to work every day too, because you're not a therapy clinic.
We are not.
So that's one, and that's probably hard to do at times, because our employees really do have we all have things going on in our lives that can affect the work life. So let's go back to the networking, those type of things. So you're involved in the Chamber of Commerce. You're actively involved. Your company's actively involved as a sponsor. You're at every single event. You do those type of things. Why? Does it pay off? If there's a benefit to the company, why do you do that? Support the chambers.
I do it because I thoroughly, 100% believe in the chamber and what it could do for a business. We moved from Bedford to the city of Warrensville Heights, and it's been such a great partnership. Part of it is me giving back. I am happy to sponsor. I love to see our logo up there.
Yeah.
But I believe in what the chamber does, and it's helping businesses grow. It's bringing them into network. Nothing is better than networking. Honestly, before I got this job, I was raising 5 kids. I always worked. But it was part-time.
Well, that was work. Balancing 5 kids is like balancing 5 employees and techs going out there in the field, in a sense. But
I've seen the power of networking and what it does. And I do, like even with my management team and my employees. I bring them into it because I think it's very important, and it's necessary too.
And I know you walk the talk, because at the last event I was at, you had a table there for WF Hann, and there were probably 3 or 4 people there representing the company. So you definitely walk the talk. So over 100 years, what do you see the future? Is it just continue to grab market share, to introduce? I mean, has the business matured to the point where accelerated growth is not possible? What do you see down the road?
It's always possible.
Okay.
Technology is really changing.
Yeah.
I mean, we get alerts from customers' equipment when they have an issue before they even know. Yeah. Our techs have a tool that when they go up to a AC or a furnace, and it'll tell them certain things. Technology is just crazy.
Wow.
AI is crazy. And once again, that's
utilizing
training.
AI at this point? I think everyone's still trying to figure out how best
Everyone's
to do that.
trying to figure it out. In our call center, we do have an AI person. Her
So
name
are you
is
an image or are we actually talking? Now you're scaring me.
her name is Lucy.
Lucy, okay.
But I have listened to calls and
Yeah.
it's amazing. But it's helping our business. And Lucy knows if she's not getting somewhere with a customer, it'll be switched over to a live agent. We have customers that are okay with that and some customers that want to talk to a live agent.
Yeah.
That's okay. We want to make it as easy as we can
Okay.
for our customers.
This is going to be a tricky question.
Mhm.
So, being the president of a company and a minority, not majority owner of the company, you're still answering to someone
Mhm.
or some entity at the time. How do you manage that or balance that with the needs of the company, the needs of the ownership, and then the needs of those, employees who work for you as well? That's a juggling act in a sense.
I'll tell you what makes it easy is
Yeah.
the relationship I have with
Okay.
management.
Okay, good. Yep.
I am a minority, very small,
Mm-hmm.
but me being vested in that, oh my gosh, it makes me work harder. It
Yeah.
makes me more relevant in really, issues, what's going on, all ends of the business. I have learned so much. I have learned from the day I started,
Mm-hmm.
and I will continue to learn. We have gotten a lot of good things have come out of it too.
Good.
And there's been some challenges with anything.
Sure. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, my employees are happy. And I am happy to say we just won top workplace.
Oh, excellent.
So total of 11 years.
Okay.
And I think that award means the most to me.
Congratulations.
It really does, because that speaks from my employees. And if they're happy, the customer.
I was going to say that's
happy.
so that's a blessing. Absolute blessing.
That is a blessing.
Not just from your standpoint, for the ownership group standpoint, but the employees to know. I mean, that's literally them saying we like working here, which is really important too. So that's congratulations. That's not easy to get either.
No, it's not.
So if you were sitting across, and I know you do this because you're part of the chamber and you network a lot and you're part of the leadership team. As you're talking to others about getting involved in business, maybe even business ownership, would you encourage them to take the same path, like get involved, understand, and then grow with the company, maybe buy it or take ownership, or would you encourage them to dive into a business? What would you do, you think?
I wouldn't say dive into a business. It took me 16 years to get where I'm at, right?
And I love that perspective, because others are like, just dive in.
No, you've got to learn.
Yeah.
You've got to do your research. It takes time. I didn't feel comfortable at the company. I would say, it was 2-3 years. I was learning so much.
Mm-hmm. Was
I overwhelmed? Yes. But that's what makes it good. That's what kept me going. Mm-hmm. I can't dive into anything. Okay. I'm just not comfortable with that.
So as a part of your journey, has any point been more of a blessing or curse? Has just been a nice balancing act between the two? There's the good, the bad, the ugly.
There's the good, and there's the bad. I wouldn't call it a curse.
Okay.
If it was a curse, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But everybody makes mistakes.
Sure.
I've made mistakes. It's how you learn from it and what you do differently. We weren't always thought. We had our challenges when I first came on board 16 years ago. And I'll never forget, someone said to me years later, WF Hann is such a well-oiled machine. I never forgot that. And I wanted to keep that attitude going. I wanted to keep that thought going that, we might stumble and fall. We're not perfect.
Oh, yeah.
But it's how, when something does go wrong, what do we do to change it or improve from it? Yeah. I will always admit our mistakes. If a customer calls unhappy with something, And I'll be very truthful. I apologize.
And you go fix it.
We made a mistake.
Yeah.
But we are who we are. We haven't been in business for 119 years not to own it.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's really important to own it.
I think back on how many years that I've, been on the road and I've seen those vans with the wonderful logo, the men carrying the sign.
Yes, the running man.
Yeah, the running man. I mean, it's just so for so many years, since I was a kid, in a sense, when you think about it. So that brand legacy is incredibly important, which is something that's got to be tough to just make sure you manage all the time, in a sense. So,
and it still is, because that's the number one we get. I see your vans.
So before we conclude, give advice to anyone listening and learning on how best to get in business and run a business. Even if they just want to run a business, what would you say? Well,
first, do your background into it.
Okay.
You have to.
Okay.
Because starting a business, for one, that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
I've never done that. I have grown with a business, so I can speak on that.
Uh-huh.
You have to do your due diligence, and don't ever forget where you came from. And treat everyone, I still say family. Treat them like your family. I do my employees, we do the customers. I think it is key. It is key.
Yep.
Especially today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your advice. I'm sure those who are listening and watching are going to, take that to heart. Some will dive in anyway, of course, because that's how some entrepreneurs are. Yeah. And others will take a more methodical approach to get into somewhere and grow it and learn. So thank you very much, Karen, for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. Good to see ya.
Hey, if you like this episode, don't forget to comment, like, and share. This podcast was made possible with the support of our sponsors. Find more ways to grow at kyeast.org.